Good evening and welcome to the Cedar Falls Community School District Board of Education meeting on this Monday, February 13th. I want to welcome you all. We do have one of our members joining electronically, which is permitted by Iowa Code 21.8. And with that, I will call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Susie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Nate. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. And now we'll move into public comment. We are delighted to have a couple of public comment individuals this evening. So first would be Bethany.
We're all just going to
That's
come into our unity. Don't worry, it's a good thing.
Welcome.
Thank
Yes,
you.
welcome.
Well, thank you for having us. Everybody? All right. So just, we're here as just a small portion on behalf of Cedar Heights Elementary teachers and staff, Mrs. Bruns, Megan, and myself, Bethany Neese. We would just like to express our gratitude and our happiness with the board's decision to formally make Tyler Ruane our principal officially starting this summer at Cedar Heights Elementary.
So during his time as the building interim leader, he's shown his dedication, knowledge, and great communication skills as our leader, and he's always willing to listen and help us as he's able. Additionally, he has ties that specifically help our building. He went to school at Cedar Heights. His dad is a para in my room. His kids go to school at Cedar Heights, and he also is a coach for some of the kids in our building, and that is a very important asset to keep our Cedar Heights Elementary family close.
We're very excited about having Tyler as our leader for hopefully many years to come. And we just appreciate the thoughtfulness and the thoroughness with which the board listened to our voices and our school and in which the process was carried out. So again, we just want to say that our staff is really pleased with the decision and the voices that our voices were heard. And we thank you for your time and thoroughness. And this is just a small portion. There's a lot of our staff that would love to be here but couldn't tonight. But we are very thrilled, and so we thank you.
Can I ask a...
Oh, wait, hold on. I got to get a picture.
I need a picture of this.
All right. All right, very good.
Thanks again.
Yes. Hey, can I ask a quick question before you go, though?
Yes.
Was anybody in this group on the English Language Arts Committee as well? Nope. Okay, that's okay. I just didn't know if anybody in this group was. You were there. That's good. That's good. I just wanted to ask.
We're excited to hear that.
It's really, really good. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate that. That was, they're referring to an appointment that was in the consent agenda for a new principal at Cedar Heights. So just to put that reference. So, Kiana, you get to be next.
I'm not for sure how I'm supposed to follow that, but it was gorgeous. That's true. I suppose that's true. I do have just a couple updates from the high school. So chronologically, men's swimming just wrapped up their season with a great performance at the state meet this past weekend. Congrats to all of our swimmers at state and those who placed. Women's wrestling just ended their first season as a sanctioned sport, and we had multiple athletes from Cedar Falls who competed at the state meet. Congrats, ladies. We've had multiple musical performances in the past couple of weeks, the choir pops concert, orchestra pops concert, the jazz show, and there's a band concert tonight. Congrats to all of our musicians. We are so proud of all of your hard work. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, which means that Student Senate will be hosting our annual Valentine's Day Rose Sale, where students can send roses to faculty, their friends, significant others, etc. And this year, our Rose Sale proceeds will go to the House of Hope. In addition, Women's Leadership is partnering with Student Senate on a Valentine's Day bake sale before school tomorrow. The additional proceeds of the bake sale will also go to House of Hope. This weekend, Rocket Club is launching their full-scale NASA student launch rocket in Minnesota, so good luck to Rocket Club. And Student Senate is preparing for Read Across America the last week of February, the week of the 27th. Students are planning to go into each elementary school classroom this year to be able to read across America with students and spend some time reading with our littles and not so littles during this super fun week. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kiana. Appreciate that. Janelle.
How am I supposed to follow that? I'll try. I dug a little deeper, Kiana, to get a few things that I was hoping I could, cover since I knew you would be here tonight. So here's a communications update. It's been a couple weeks, but it has been really busy across the district. First of all, wanted to just mention we're taking our kindergarten registration for the class of 2036. So if you have an incoming kindergartner, I heard a few of you mention that, there's the phone numbers there to contact your elementary buildings to get the information to register for your student. If you're unsure, just call 553-3000 and we'll help you figure that out to get you registered. And there'll be a kindergarten visit day and a parent meeting coming up as well, so you'll get that information. Wanted to be a big thank you to our school counselors. It was National School Counseling Week last week. We have an amazing group across our district, all of our elementaries, junior highs, high schools, and our Excel Center as well. So that is the photo we put on social media, just as a thank you to all of them. Just wanted to mention the science team. They won the Iowa Science Bowl a little over a week ago, and they'll represent Iowa in the National Science Bowl this spring in Washington, D.C. And thanks to the Courier for a great article they wrote on all of their efforts. So congratulations to them, and good luck. And then also wanted to mention DECA. They competed in Waverly in various competitions with marketing and management. And then in February, they'll be competing at State in Des Moines. So that's a picture of the DECA students and then their faculty representatives. Then also the speech team, they had 2 performance groups among a very small percentage across the state who received all state honors. This is the first time in recent history that they've sent groups to all state in back-to-back years. So congratulations to those students, and they will be performing at the Iowa High School Speech Association Large Group All-State Festival in Ames, February 18th. Also wanted to mention, talking about girls wrestling, Allie Gerbrecht, she was named the Girls Coach of the Year, and just a really kind of interesting trivia there. She was the first ever champ for women's wrestling, and now is the first ever, that was for AGWSR, and then is now the first Coach of the Year as a sanctioned sport. So congratulations to Allie, and then of course to all of the girls that were state qualifiers. We had, was that 9 there that I'm seeing? And they were also regional champs. So congratulations to all of those girls and a great season. And then we had 2 that were place winners, Lauren Witt, 6th place, and then Briar Ludeman, 7th place. So congratulations to all of them. Of course, I'll mention swimming real quick. They had 127 points. They finished 9th in the team standings. The 400 free relay was 5th. You can see them pictured there. And this is a picture of John Butler. He finished 3rd in the 200 free and 5th in the 100 free. And then Cole Wilson was also finished 7th and then 6th. And John Butler also, he broke the school record twice over the weekend. Big congrats to John. He broke it in the prelims and then the finals, I believe. So congratulations to him. Then also this last weekend, we had the tournament to qualify for state wrestling, and we had 7 wrestlers qualify. And I think last year we just had 1 maybe qualify for state. Does that sound right? I'm looking at Susie for verification. So they've had a great year, and that'll be coming up. This starts this Wednesday. So follow the Booster Club on Twitter and Facebook for all that information about the state tournament. And then there we had our, Pete hosted the first ever junior high girls wrestling meet last week. So those girls have finished up their season and had a great season as well. So congratulations to all of those girls. And then we had a signing day up at the high school. These are all of the seniors that are going to be participating as student athletes at the collegiate level. So congratulations to those students. And then this is my favorite thing to talk about every year. It was the 100th day of school, and all of our elementaries do an amazing job celebrating this with the kiddos across the district. I think this is an Aldrich photo. That's another Aldrich group. Some of them, you know, they bring 100 things, or some of them dress up like they might look like they're 100, or they have their crown. I think that might be Orchard Hill. So there's a couple, they do lots of activities with different things, counting, math. This was one of my favorites. They did a writing project. So when I'm 100 years old, it's hard to read, so I picked out some highlights. When I'm 100 years old, I will drive a golf cart. I will live in Florida. I will like to eat bacon. I will adopt 3 kids and 2 cats, 1 dog, 2 fish, 3 lizards, and watch TV, and 1 snake. I will throw a party. Period. Hard stop. So those were fabulous to read. This was Orchard Hill's post, so that was a lot of fun to read through. I encourage anyone to go online and look at those. We had our Lego League teams across the district. Many of them qualified for the state championship. And then this is the North Cedar team, the Power Mania. They placed 9th overall among the 64 of the best teams. So congratulations to all those Lego League teams. This is just another snapshot from the January Leader and Me Assembly at North Cedar. They had a couple special guests. I think were they doing head and shoulders, knees and toes there? Dr. Petit? You're an active, no? Looks, okay, just a perfect shot. It's one of my favorites then. No, okay, that was an unexpected answer. So the second grade students and the teachers led the assembly, and Dr. Petit and then School Board Vice President Jenny Leeper were in attendance as special guests. If you haven't figured out tonight, we have an amazing amount of amazing teachers across the district, so we encourage everyone to please go online and nominate for the Gold Star Teacher Awards. They can be submitted online through February 20th. Of course, you can follow along with all the new high school updates. We have the live video feed and then new photos and lots of information on that site. And of course, we're still working our fundraising efforts for the pool and the Tiger Performance Center project. Phew, and then follow along for everything else happening. Any questions?
Thank you, Janelle. And we'll continue with reports. Janelle.
Absolutely. So not sure what I'm going to do when I'm 100, but I definitely can count to 100, so that's a good thing. So, and count on a daily basis with all of these numbers. But we'll quickly go through the January financials for the month. And as I have in the past, actually just last month, went through all the uses for these particular funds, so I will spare you that tonight. But for general fund, we did have revenues of a little over $4.3 million with expenditures of $5.4 million, with total cash investments of $11,750,166. For our management fund, we had a little over $4,500. In expenditures, a little over $710. That is because the majority of our expenditures do occur in July, with total cash investments of $222,542. For our capital projects, which we're utilizing for the high school, we had revenues, which are interest of a little over $156,720, expenditures of a little over $3 million, for total cash investments of $44,986,953. Those funds will be continued to utilize for the high school as we continue with that project. For SAVE, we had revenues of a little over $577,000, expenditures of $1.4 million. We did have that transfer out, and that is utilized in our debt service. You'll see that transfer in when we get to that fund of a little over $359,000, for total cash investments of $9,055,570. We have our physical plant and levy, which we had revenues of $34,000. We had expenditures of $92,000, for total cash investments of $4,233,428. And then, $6,608,392. For our debt service, then we had revenues of $46,054. We had expenditures of $800, for our total cash investments of $4,233,428. As we move forward then with the next slide, we have our remaining funds for our student activity. We had revenues of $57,431, expenditures of $93,942, for total cash investments of $776,811. Agency funds, we had revenues of $15,939, expenditures of $166,744, for total cash investments of $433,314. For our enterprise fund, we had revenues of $284,145, expenditures of $229,553, for total cash investments of $2,600,489. We do have activity in our student coffee shop at the high school, so we had some revenues of a little over $2,000, expenditures of a little over $2,000, for total cash investments of $19,992. And then we finalize with our River Hills Consortium. That is a flow-through, to remind the board, of revenues of $332,000, with expenditures of $385,000, for total cash investments of $0 for remaining balance. And then as we move forward, then we have year-to-date balances, again, for those specific funds as our general fund through our debt service, and then again with the next slide from student activity to our River Hills Consortium. Any questions specific on January?
All right. Questions? Those financial reports, of course, are placed on file and will be part of the annual audit, which occurs. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Moving now to the roof improvement bids for 2023.
Absolutely. If we can go ahead and pull up the slides for the roofing projects, you'll note this is just a reminder when Daryl was here presenting specific to our roofs, our roof plan for this summer. We move to the next slide. You'll see that the plan is for the Cedar Heights Elementary section, Northwest section level A, as well as then Holmes Junior High level K and D1. Moving forward, this just depicts the Cedar Heights roof project, detail of that particular roof in level A. And then the next slide does provide, again, a reference of Holmes Junior High for that project as well. You'll note that, and I'll just keep moving forward, that's okay without, oh, there we go. Oh.
I'm not doing anything. Denny, we lost the video feed for the presentation.
Yeah, I'm looking for my backup slides. Which slide were you on?
We are on slide number 4. Holmes Junior High roof project detail. There we go. Again, this just depicts the Holmes Junior High roof level D as well as then level K. And then as we move forward, this is just a reminder of the anticipated construction costs specific to those for our base bid for a total of $525,000 with that alternate bid of $90,000 for Holmes Junior High level D. Moving forward then, you'll note our bid opening was on January 23rd at 2 p.m. We did receive 2 bids for this project. Specifically, we had Black Hawk Roof Company from Cedar Falls, as well as Service Roofing Company from Waterloo. You'll note with the base bid as well as the alternative, there was a total of $512,073 with Black Hawk Roof Company. Service Roofing Company was a little over $670,900. So the recommendation would be to move forward with Black Hawk Roof Company. Just to remind the board, we did place bids for Cedar Heights last year at this time, and that was only specific to Cedar Heights. It did not include Holmes Junior High, and those bids actually were a little over $312,000 at that time. So the bid did come in lower than last year at this time. So it was $302,000 for Cedar Heights specifically. So, and as we move forward, then the anticipation would be for awarding the contract this evening with construction to begin in June with a completion prior to August 1st. Any questions specifically about the bids?
All right, seeing no questions, I'd ask for a motion to approve.
I move that the Cedar Falls Community School District Board of Education approve the 2023 roof project bids for roofing from Black Hawk Roof Company, Waterloo, Iowa, in the amount of $512,073 as presented.
Thank you, Nate. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lowell. No further questions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Now moving on to the ELA curriculum material. Dr. Petit.
Yes, so following up from our work session with discussion regarding the work that's been ongoing for the last several years, there's a presentation, I believe, for this one, with this really focusing on our English language arts K-6 supplemental supplies, learning equipment, materials, and curriculum. both Eric and Amy did a wonderful job, as well as our staff that presented on the work of this committee. It goes back now 2 to 3 years with research and reviewing research, working collectively to learn together, to vision together, and then to set out what does this look like based on research as we move forward. However, I'd even say it predates this slide from what Eric and Amy talked about, as for over now 5 years, as Pam can attest to, we have really been planning, budgeting, working towards this as a completion date to be able to make sure that we have the budget in place to be able to pay for the necessary materials, supplies, equipment, curriculum components that allow us to continue to focus at a very high level on language acquisition, phonemic awareness, and the entire ELA components necessary to have students transition from learning to read to reading to learn, which is what this truly is all about. Part of this component is this is an 8-year adoption. This is a long-term vision. Next slide. And Andy, all these are online too. So not only the one from the work session, but this one. Ooh, this is a little harder to see than I thought. Surprisingly, as we worked through 5 different curriculum and curriculum components that we weaned down to 3 that we received bids on and looked at what does this cost, they're all fairly similar. And again, you look at the cost for all the supplies, we're talking thousands and thousands of books and thousands of components of different materials that are used, consumables and non-consumables. CKLA, which is the one that we're recommending, it's Amplify, which is, as you heard from some of our staff, that they're amplified because of the work that's going on and how excited they are, is actually the lowest bid. Comes out to about $135,000 per year over the next 8 years, but a total cost of $1.79,285, a little over $1 million. You can see where the other ones came in at. This is the lowest bid. We weren't necessarily looking to recommend the lowest bidder through this process because we wanted to make sure it fit our vision, fit our purpose, and fit the committee's recommendation because we really relied on the experts, which was our staff members. I would say kudos again. Our staff said this, both Eric and Amy. The process was wonderful. It was amazing, just the work of the committee and the input and the direction as well as the research behind it. But we're excited about what's going to happen, especially with professional development. Eric mentioned this in the work session. I'd be remiss without saying it too. One of the final steps through this recommendation process was to have this go through that lens of the 802 legislation, last year's legislation about what can and can't be taught and what lens that looks at through all these resources. Our teacher librarian spent an immense amount of time to go through that process, and certainly we wanted and expected that to be completed. With full recommendation, we recommend this, and it's very exciting as a resource with multiple lenses, multiple viewpoints, and certainly multiple hands, minds, and action steps behind this.
I had another question that might have been more appropriate for the work session that I forgot about it. I noticed looking through like the program guides that you had sent out to the links of, and I was reading through those. Is there, and this might, I understand this might be more based on how just the schedule to review curriculums that we have in place. Is there any thought or planning to implement the rest of Amplify's ELA curriculum at the 6, we're doing 6 obviously, but 7, 8, the 7, 8 part of that curriculum as well?
Do you want to take that one, Eric? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do curriculum on an 8-year cycle, and so the 7th through 10th recently reviewed 2 years ago, and so they're in year 3 of there. So it would be up next, 6 years from now.
So the natural process will be some of the spiraling of the research, especially of the science of reading research. So there will be some natural components that will be embedded in that, but as we look at adoption, not immediate.
Okay, it was something that came to mind when you were talking about the integration of K through 6, wanting a seamless curriculum that did everything from the lowest grade level up to 6. And I noticed that in order to get that 6, it kind of wrapped in parts of that 6 through 8 is how they have it categorized for their within Amplify. So I'm just curious.
It's a great question.
I don't have a direct question, but just a comment to piggyback off of Nate and RJ's comments. I too am impacted by this. I've got daughters in school, and I'm excited with the focus on phonics and things like that. And I've borrowed the book about science of reading, and I'm excited to read it. And thanks for all the hard work that you guys have done.
Very good. Well, can I have a motion to approve?
I move that the Cedar Falls Community School District Board of Education approve the English Language Arts, ELA, and Core Knowledge Language Arts, CKLA, curriculum material from Amplify as presented.
Thank you, Susie. Is there a second?
Well, second.
Thank you, RJ. Move to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I want to thank you again, Eric and Amy,
Great
for being here and leading the team and presenting. So appreciate all the hard work and look forward to that. Our next item is, we're not talking about the class of 2036 quite yet, but we're going to look at the 2023-2024 school calendar. So we do need to set a public hearing for that.
Yeah, so this is to set the public hearing. Certainly, we'll solicit any input from the board. The draft calendar is in the board packet and online. Corresponding dates with what we have done in the past. Everything is really directed in kind of an edict from Iowa Code and in the state legislature on when we can start and what the calendar looks like. So anymore, they're pretty much similar from year to year just because of the timing and what is allowed underneath the discretion of local districts and local school boards. The earliest we can start is August 23rd, and that happens to fall on a Wednesday, so you'll see that as the corresponding date from when we begin. Breaks are very similar, and spring break, we always follow that which you and I follow, so that way we're always aligned with what you and I does for that spring break time frame. So up next would be at the March 21st meeting, we'd hold a public hearing and certainly take any input on the calendar, and then look forward to moving for approval in the near future following that.
Sounds good. I have a motion to approve the public hearing for the calendar.
I move that the Cedar Falls Community School District Board of Education approve March 21, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. at the City of Cedar Falls City Hall at 220 Clay Street, Cedar Falls, Iowa, as the date and time to hold a public hearing for the 2023-2024 school year calendar.
Thank you, Lowell. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Susie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to the superintendent's report.
Yeah, not a whole lot. The next meeting, again, March 21st, we'll have our preliminary budget and working through that process. A lot of different bills with the legislature. Sometimes my advice for individuals, especially this time of year, as bills get introduced, don't panic. There's a long process and a long process to go through to get those through committee and subcommittee and through approval of both houses before they're signed. Funnel week is coming up. I think that is on March 5th, I believe. And funnel week is typically a very good barometer of what may be coming through the houses, what may be approved, because bills that are not fiduciary based, if they don't pass the funnel, they won't be brought back up or aren't able to be brought back up. So always a good indication when we look at that date.
All right, thank you. And just as a reminder, everyone, March 21st is a Tuesday, not a Monday.
Yes, correct, because we do not meet that Monday, which would normally we would meet because that's spring break, and the city council meets Monday night in this chamber, so we always meet the Tuesday following spring break, traditionally based on how the calendar falls. Thank you for that.
Yep, so just make sure you have that on your calendar correct. It's a Tuesday meeting. All right, very good. Any questions, concerns, or comments from board members?
So I'm sure everybody follows this stuff, and this is not news to anybody, but I did see the supplemental aid came in at 3% for next year.
It did. It passed and was approved by both chambers and signed by the governor that we do have 3% supplemental state aid for next year, which is
Better
Good.
than last year, a
Yes.
little bit.
I think it's the highest it's been in 12 years, maybe. 14, maybe?
All right, well, very good. So we will be adjourning, and then after adjournment, actually, there'll be a closed session of the board to prepare for the negotiation strategy, which there won't be any decisions taken during that session. It's just merely a time for the board to reach a consensus on as we go into the negotiation season. So with that, I would ask for a move to adjourn.
So move.
Thank you, RJ. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Nate. All those in favor for adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.